a train a-comin'. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All right, folks, I'm here. It is Nichols Live. This is Thursday, and I am Larry Nichols. So if you're out there, somebody needs to do me a favor. I've misplaced the sheet of paper that has the listen in line. I already know it by now. It's 401 something. But when I read something over and over, I never learn it. So I don't, somebody needs to text me, if you will, the listen line number, because I have just lost it. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. We'll get word here shortly, I feel, from Greg and the people at Leading Edge. They'll tell us how many people are here. And I know I need to explain that to you. First off, let me see if anybody is texting me that we are up and on, just making sure. I see from Alden, I'm loud and clear to there. Just need to make sure we're loud and clear to you out there. But there's a reason that the numbers that we give out, or I give out, to the number of people that are tuned in are significant. You see, in internet radio, it's deceiving. Hold on, somebody sent me something, so maybe we'll. This is from Chris. Oh, the hold on. The Listen Live number is 401 284 6754. 401 284 6754. And of course, when you get there, you push 1 for channel 1, and you're listening live. And I got from Greg that we are live. So we're on a roll. We are doing good. Now, back to what I was talking about. The reason I asked Greg and Leading Edge to give us the numbers, as most of you know, um, I'm getting a bunch of text as things here, and it's confusing me. They're weird numbers, so we're on. So don't worry, guys. We're on. I know we're on, and I've given out the Listen Live number. As you know, come the 1st of June, we have got to be a sizable force of around 10,000 people. 10,000 people willing to fight to save our country. And I don't mean pick up guns and fight. I'm talking about fight to save our country. Do something to save our country. Move as a unit. The magic number is going to be about 10,000. And then from that, I can use force multiplication techniques to make our numbers seem massive, massive, to the point that we will be able to have an effect on the things going on in the world. Believe it or not, we truly will. We truly, truly will. Now, when we're at 6,500, let's say, and you might think, well, golly, that's not many, because Joe Blow out here has got an internet program that I listen to. And, you know, he says he's got 3 million listeners, folks. They usually don't. They usually don't. That is, they just usually don't. That's just, those are bogus numbers. I don't know where they get them. There are companies out of China, companies out of India that will post and look like you've got 1 million people listening to you, but you really don't. 6,000 plus people listening. Oh, okay. I gave the wrong number. Now I'm in trouble. All right. The number is 401-283-6754. I'm sorry. The listen line number is 401-283-6754. And then punch 1. Sorry about that, Greg. But the number that they have listening is usually wrong. I'm going to believe and say that probably at the time of day we're on. Now, remember, when our program is up, when we have our meeting, at the same time Alex is on, Alex Jones, who is the probably by far the leading program in the alternative media in the internet world. He's on. Limbaugh's on. Probably he is without a doubt the leading program with terrestrial listeners in the country. And then you've probably got Jeff Rentz at night. You've got Glenn Beck. But folks, beyond those people, there's not probably anybody out there in truth, in honesty, live, when they're on the air, that have more people actually listening than we do. You just don't. Now, others may get a bunch, like Lisa Haven, may get a bunch of people on YouTube coming in and listening through archives and whatever. So you can be very proud of the numbers that are listening to this program live during the day. Very proud. And then we need to all thank Alden because he does a good job of getting us more listeners by putting it up on YouTube. And you can tell your friends or people that you know that might want to listen, go to Larry Nichols Live on YouTube. And there they can hear the programs. We're going to be a sizable force. Sizable. And as long as you know what to say, and as long as you know when to say it, how to say it, then guys, let me tell you, you can shake the world. You can. And I said shake, not shape. We're going to do that. You've had a drill in it when we had you call before senators and congressmen, if you'll recall, about Trump. That was a drill. You did well. You did great. You made an impact. Now we're going to make a big impact. A big, huge impact. Now, I was asked about Vince Foster. I have, since, of course, it has been a subject that has come out with Trump. I've been asked over and over and over and over, texts and emails and stuff about Vince Foster. When am I going to release and what am I going to release? I want y'all to listen to me, please. The problem with the Foster case is that there are so many fictitious stories out there about it that it makes the real story harder to get out. It really does. I assure you, when it is time, I'm going to treat the Foster story in a way that the Clintons have never had to deal with before, but they're going to have to deal with it. So much so that I'm even willing to tell you on the air now. I don't believe that there's anything we're going to be able to do to force Hillary to be indicted over the Vince Foster death. I don't believe there is. Not even from having the body moved. I just don't believe it. Reason I don't believe it is if she's not being indicted for the email stuff and the server and all of that, then I guess you see, if they can't indict her, if they won't indict her over that, then what would make us believe that Loretta Lynch would go after Hillary and indict her over matters having to do with Vince Foster, 20-something-year-old case? She won't. So then you're probably going to be thinking, well, if we're not going to get her indicted, what good is it? Guys, I want to take you back to my pledge to you, my promise to you. I'm going to stop her from being president. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to die trying to stop her from being the president of the United States and destroying our country. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to have a front row seat. You're going to be ahead of everybody. Oh, it's going to come out, but you're going to be ahead of everybody. Why? You see, you've been a part of this plan all along. You may not have known it. Maybe I've been wrong in not including you in everything all along the way, but I just haven't. But one of the reasons we've got to be at 10,000 is because you are going to know ahead of time what I am about to release about Foster. You're going to be able to go to the people on your Facebook or whatever kind of group of people you communicate with. You're going to be able to go to them and say, look, this is going to come out about Hillary next week. And the people around you are going to go, yeah, yeah, yeah. How do you know what's going to come out about Hillary next week? Well, you're going to know because I'm going to tell you. I will tell you. And then the people that you tell ahead of time that something's coming out and then it does, it's going to increase your credibility. All right, folks, we're at 6,602, 6,602 plus listeners. Great day, great Thursday. We're climbing up. We need to get more people in here. We got to get on up. We ought to try tomorrow to hit 7,000 if there's any way possible. Back to what I was saying, you're going to be able to tell people what's coming on the Foster thing ahead of time. That is to build your credibility with the people you're talking to and communicating with. Then you're going to become a go-to place. You're going to be a go-to person because, golly gee, you're wired in. How did you know what was fixing to come out? You're going to become a leader in this effort to stop Hillary. You are. And I want you to be able to proudly say, this is what's coming, this is where it came from, and then it be there just like we said it would. And the strategy overall is twofold. Now, in my racket, it's called complex scenarios. Complex scenarios. You might want to write that down. Complex scenarios. That's where you're able in your head to run two different offenses at the same time. Two different offensive plays at the same time. Imagine playing football or being in some kind of magical football game where you're the coach of one game over between one team and another, and then you're also the coach of another team playing somewhere else against somebody else, and you're able to call and keep both of those games going and call the plays for both teams, it can get confusing. Complex scenario, complex strategy. We've got a twofold complex strategy. Number one, or I do. Number one, it is to know what the Clinton campaign is going to do to defeat Trump. All right. And since I know that, I got this message here. Is there more about Vince Foster's secretary? Is she still around, Larry? Just asking. Uh, Vince Foster's secretary, in case anybody wants to know, is Linda Tripp. Yes, she's still around. And really, there's not that much more about her relative to Foster. Really, there's not. She was the one that got him his last meal. But what I was telling you, where I was going, was telling you this. One of my jobs is to keep the Clintons having to spend a goodly amount of the campaign money that they are planning to use to discredit, to slander Trump, to where people hate him. Remember, I told you, power in politics is not love, it's hate. They know this. And they're doing everything, and they will do everything they can to make people out there believe Donald Trump is some kind of sinister, evil thing and make people hate him. It's easier to make somebody hate somebody than it is to make somebody love them, I assure you. So fully 60% of the $1 billion Hillary expects to spend running against Trump in the general election, they intend to use that much of that money to smear Trump in every way imaginable. Knowing that, I am therefore bound to attack them there. So it's my job then, you see, to make sure that that money, that 60%, that we reach in there and grab a bunch of that money and make them have to spend that money fighting the scandal we put out, or I put out. There's job one. Make them commit their funds to trash Trump. Make them spend them to put out the scandals that I start. Well, I'm past commercial time. Folks, today is a special day, today and tomorrow. I've got to have the 500 for treatment today. Please, we cannot miss today. Please. It's very important. I will tell y'all Monday. But today and tomorrow, today's the 500, tomorrow's the $1,200 day. We've got to hit those. I've got to please get the money for those treatments. So if you're out there, go to PayPal. When you get to PayPal, it's Nichols Live at AOL.com. Be sure you send it to the gift or donate button, not the purchase. And then if you're not in PayPal, you can go to Facebook, Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas, and there is a button there that you can push using your debit card, credit card, whatever. But somebody kick it off. Somebody ding it now, because I cannot miss today or tomorrow. These are probably the two most important days of my life in the way I have to live now. And I might say for the future of this program. So please, please, if you're out there, if you've never given before, please do help me. If you have given it before, now's the time to do it again, please, today and tomorrow, because it can make a huge difference, huge difference. By the way, later in the program, Warren Hall, a listener, friend, He makes tables that have concealed compartments for weapons, for pistols. He has been gracious enough to give us one of those. And we're gonna have a raffle. And I believe a picture of one like it is on our Facebook. You can go there and see. But I'll be giving out the terms or the rules of how that works. But folks, it's an incredible table that will help you in your home conceal to a burglar or somebody coming to get your gun. You're able to conceal it while at the same time you have access to that weapon through this table nightstand. So please hang on. I'll talk about that. And we all need to thank Warren for offering to do this. Back to where I was. The first thing is my job is to take money that Hillary intends to allocate to spend to trash Trump, make her spend it putting out fires that I start. Number one. And then number two, how do I create, being me, with y'all? How do we get in a situation to where we can force Hillary to have to spend money putting out the scandal? Well, the thing I intend to do with Vince Foster is make it the whodunit mystery of the century, possibly of all time. Whodunit. You know, there are millions of millennials that are going to be able to vote. They don't know what a Vince Foster is. We're going to tell them, me and you. They have no idea about the details of the investigation and how it was skewed and how it was bogus. They have no idea. They don't even know about it. So we've got to tell them. We've got to re-educate an entire population of people as to who Vince Foster was and what was this all about with his death when Bill Clinton was president some 20 years ago. Holy smokes, they're just going to think it don't mean nothing anymore. Well, it does. That case is still open. That case is still open, and the mitigating circumstances around the reason they moved the body are significant. They are significant. One, I will tell you, I've already told you, but I will tell you again, one of the mitigating circumstances that forced the Clinton team, administration, whatever you want to call them, where Vince Foster died, where he actually died, whether he killed himself or somebody killed him, where he died, would have put the investigation under the auspices of the Washington, D.C. police force. They would have investigated the case a lot more diligently than did the Park Police. Just so that you know, the United States Park Police work directly for guess who? The White House. And for years and years and years, as long as I can remember, the Park Police has been the lead agency to cover up and cover for politicians, congressmen, senators, presidents, you name it. They're the ones that cover up their little dalliances, the things that they go out and do that they don't want people to know about. That's been their job for years. They are not certainly the lead investigation agency in something as high profile as the death of the chief legal counsel for the White House. They just wouldn't be, but they were. But you see, if the DC police were the lead investigative body, they would have surely, as just a function of the investigation, if he killed himself, why? What was he depressed about that would make him kill himself? You know, all of these things would be dealt with, and it would come out that Vince and Hillary had a long-term extramarital relationship, Vince Foster and Hillary. And as I have told y'all before, had that have come out back then in 93, 94, whenever it was, 93, I guess, or anyway, 93, 94, had it have come out then, Hillary would not be in the race today running for president. She would not be. It would have been that shocking of a scandal. It would have been that big of a deal that she wouldn't be able to run today. They would have branded her, and they knew it. So they moved the body. They moved it. Now, as something I know that you have no way of knowing, you know, when you here, I got a message from a listener. Larry, did Vince Foster ever talk to you about his concerns over his relationship with Hillary? That's a great question, listener. I talked to Vince a lot, but you got to remember, I talked to him back when Bill was governor. I never had anything to do with him once I went to Washington. And to be quite honest and candid, we just never talked about his affair with Hillary. It just wasn't something that came up. I was not his confidant to help him with his personal problems. That just wasn't my job, and I didn't do it. I didn't. But I do know, listener, and the rest of you, from numerous people, that Hillary had broken it off with Vince. He was upset about that. He truly loved Hillary. He was upset that she broke it off and the coldness at which she broke it off. And there was another thing that no one knows that would lead one to believe that he might have been to the point where he might have killed himself. There's another thing. We will go over that in a while, in a few days, but not today. But there is another thing. But remember, Vince and Hillary busted up. Once she got to Washington, she didn't need Vince Foster anymore. Once they got to Washington, Hillary saw Vince as a liability, and it was over. And it crushed Vince. I hate that for him. Hated it for him, but it did. But there's another thing that happened the day he left the office, never to be seen alive again. There was another thing that happened that day that I was involved with that you will find out about soon. Soon you will find out. So, do you see what we're going to do? We're going to create the information coming out piece by piece by piece so that we keep Hillary's campaign spending money to trash Trump, spending money to put out the fires with the stuff we're breaking, I'm breaking, and you're passing out. And at the same time, by bringing it out a little bit at a time, hopefully all these millennial generations and everybody else, hopefully they're going to get caught up in the whodunit part of it. And then all of a sudden, it will take on a life of its own if we can do it. If we can make these two things happen, we have taken a giant step towards saving our country from Hillary. we will have done that. And that's what our mission will be when it's time. Now it's time for the second commercial. Nobody has dinged PayPal. Guys, I cannot say enough. Please, dear Lord, please, today, I've got to hit the $500. Will you please do it? Help me today. Hit it. I've got to hit it today, and I've got to hit the 1200 tomorrow. I've got to. It means the world to this program. It does. So, of you 6,600 people out there, please, please go to PayPal, nicholslive@aol.com, or go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas Facebook account and punch the button. And punch the button there with your debit card or charge card. Now, another thing, as I told you, I won't spend much time talking about it today, but every donation that comes in, starting today, any and everybody that donates today, $25, your name will be put on a piece of paper and put in a hat to win the 200 and something, maybe almost $300 concealed ordnance table. And it's nice. It's really nice. Thanks to Warren Hall. He hand makes them. So please, everybody, you don't have to say nothing. You send $25. Immediately, your name goes in the hat for the drawing, which we will do in 1 month. 1st of July, we'll draw. Now, if during the month, every time you send $25 or the equivalent, so for example, if you send $100, your name will go in the hat 4 times. 4 times. Every time $25 comes in your name, every time 25 comes in, your name will go in the hat. Now, for people that can't send 25, but send, say, 5, well, just know every time you send 5, when it gets 5 times, then you're in. Sorry about that. Look here, Alden Bennett, the guy that bless his heart is already doing the program, broadcaster, packaging the program, he sent his 25 in. So Alden's in there. But do you understand it? If you can just give $5 if you can do $5 when you get to the 5th one and amounts to 25, you're in the drawing. You're in the drawing. It says here, listener, where do we get our secret technology from? Is it Black Project Area 51? No. 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 It's not. The secret technology comes from Warren Hall, and there's information on our Facebook about Warren, and you can see, any of you, you may want to purchase one of these things. They're quite impressive. Quite impressive. Spring loaded. It's not just a hidden drawer. I mean, as I understand, anyway, you can look on our Facebook and see. I want to talk about something else other than just Vince Foster. You now have a layout of what's going to happen with Foster. Yesterday in Newsmax, on the Newsmax site, now let me get this right. It's in yesterday in Newsmax, but it's in the Lear Capital Resource Report. Lear, Lear, Capital Research Source Report. There's an article there by Alan Greenspan, former head of the Federal Reserve. Alan Greenspan. And what this article says, inasmuch, he's telling you what I've been telling you about the economy and about this thing going to crash. He's warning. And you might want to read that, because I would think, as far as people that you talk to, Greenspan would probably be more of a known name, recognized, having experience in financial matters than me, just for credibility's sake. But in that article, there's a couple of things that I found significant, in addition to just telling that this thing's fixing to happen. He talks specifically about not a bailout plan for the banks, but he said the major banks are working up and putting together a bail-in plan. Bail-in. And they talk about, or he talks about in that article, that the banks are making plans right now. They're making the plans right now, folks, so that when this thing goes under or starts falling, the cascading effect I've told y'all about, when it starts, you know what their bail-in plan is? Huh? The bail-in plan? They're patterning it off of what happened in Cyprus a few years back. Maybe you don't recall, but Cyprus hit a bump in the road, a really bad one. Well, what happened there? Banks declared, when this crisis hit, the banks pulled a cute one. They declared a bank holiday. And therefore, they stopped people from being able to get their money out of the bank. And it wasn't like a one-day holiday. It was a bank holiday for several weeks, So anyway, the bail-in plan that our trusty financial institutions are working up and putting together, patterned after Cyprus. And what that means to you, or should I say me and you, but I don't have nothing anyway, so there's nothing, it's not going to affect me a whole lot. What the banks are going to do in their bail-in plan is their first step is to take care of themselves, not you, the depositor, not you. Guys, this is Alan Greenspan, all right? Longest serving head of the Federal Reserve that we have had. Steve sent 25. Thank you, Steve. You're in. Thanks, buddy. Alan Greenspan. And here's a guy like Alan Greenspan doing an article in the Lear Resources Report talking about all of this stuff caving in just like I have. He even goes so far as to tell you what we've talked about here. They call it the bail-in plan. We call it repatriation. That's when they take your money and you can't get it out. And what Greenspan's talking about is the initial moment when it happens. See, when it happens, that initial moment, then it'll take some time for the federal government to come in and nationalize the banks. So what the banks are setting up in that interim time before the federal government comes in and nationalizes, takes over the bank, these bankers are fixing it to where they're going to collapse their bank and take the money for themselves, or as much as they can get their hands on. That's right. That's what they're working up right now. And then when the government comes in, it will have a formal permanent structure. It will nationalize the banks, create the negative interest position, which means where if you've got money, they're going to charge you of the money that you've got in the bank that you can't, by the way, get out. But as long as you've got money in the bank, they're going to draw automatically out of your money in the bank the fee that they charge to keep your money. And then, with whatever is left after the big old global bankers pull this off, whatever money is left, then it'll be up to the government to nationalize the bank, get control of it. Alan Greenspan. Do you believe me now? Do you believe now that you need to, you just need to protect yourself, protect your family? The money end of it's one part. The other part that he does not go into is food, shelter, gas. I mean, he talks about it. Think about it, guys. When this thing crashes, where are you going to get the money? Because your money will be jammed up in the bank. You can't get it out. Where are you going to get the money to buy gas? Where are you going to get the money to buy groceries? Where? Where are you going to get it? Please don't tell me you're going to do it with your gold bricks, because you're not going to be able to use your gold bricks to buy a loaf of bread or a gallon of gas. You're not. You're going to have to convert it to cash. And when that time has come, whatever you paid for your gold or silver, your precious metal, whatever you paid for it, I mean, the bad guys are liable to take it down and you're not going to get as much for it. I guess, what am I trying to say? How do I say this? Let's say you get a gold ounce of gold and it's worth, you paid $1,000 for it today, or it's worth $1,000 today, whatever. When this thing crashes, you've got to convert that 1 ounce thing of gold to cash so you can buy bread and gas and water, etc. I mean, you've got to. But when this thing crashes, you might be able to get what, a couple $100 for it, maybe 100, maybe less. Because when this crash comes down on us, folks, it's the big one. It's the big one. I don't need Obama in Japan to tell me. I don't. I don't need him to tell me what to do, because it's going to happen. And I'll bet you $100. Well, you know, Obama has secured his place. Obama is setting himself up, right, so that he becomes king. If he can pull it off, if he can get the crisis and stuff to work just right, so that he can declare FEMA while he's president, then he becomes king. And I guarantee you, he will be taken care of. He and his family, they'll be taken care of the rest of their lives at our expense. And your congressman and your senator, they won't worry about us. No, sir. They will become the big, rich, fat dukes and earls of the olden days in Europe. That's what they'll become. They'll be taken care of. You, you won't be taken care of. And you will be pushed down into a class known as worker bees. You will be, if you want money, since you don't have any, since they have taken all your money, you will be left to starve, or you will be given the option. I believe this is my opinion about this. You will be given the option at that point where if you want to make, if you've been experienced in making widgets, then this country needs widgets, so you'll go to work at the widget factory making what everybody makes, which is not enough to not enough to raise a family or feed your children or grandchildren. It's just not going to be there. So I am saying, you got money in the bank, don't believe me anymore. Look at Greenspan. Somebody like Greenspan, he's saying the banks, he's telling you in no uncertain terms, he is telling you that the banks are already putting together their plans for how they're going to deal with it. That's not me, that's him. And isn't it funny that the first thought out of the bank as they're planning what they're going to do when this crisis arises, their first thought is to secure all the money in the bank and distribute it among themselves. That's their plan. We're not in that plan. We are not. We're just not there. Do you see how urgent this is? Please, do you see how urgent this is? Now, by the way, this is the last commercial, and I am in trouble deep. We've gotten in $50 of the 500. We're 450 short. I could tell you what is significant about it, but I would rather not. Just know, because I just don't want everybody's hopes to get built up. Just know today, please, today and tomorrow. These are probably the two most important days in my health situation that I've had in a long, 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 long time. So I'm asking, please, if you want us to keep meeting and having our program, please help me today. Go to PayPal, go to the button on Facebook. Please. And do it now. We're down to 11 minutes to get $450, 11 minutes. And then when this program's over, you know the drill, folks. I have 1 hour. And if I don't make it today, if I cannot make it today, the, the result will be bad, real bad, real bad if I can't make it today. So please, all of you out there, send something. Dear God, send something. Please, just 450 of you send $1. That would work. Please send it and do it now, so I don't go into the nerves thing that I have to go through. you're out there, if you're really out there, can you please help today and tomorrow? Please. Now, I'm trying to cross over into some things that I would ordinarily not delve into, like trying to get you prepared for what's coming. That's not really what I plan to be here to do. It's not. But because I guess of who I am and because of the things that happen to come across in front of me, I feel honor bound, truly honor bound to try to take what I know to the best of my ability and get it to you. I do. So if it seems odd that I would be talking about financial stuff, tell me about it, because it's odd for me to be talking about it. But I do hope that most of you know me well enough to know that I'm not the kind of guy that's going to sit up here and talk about this kind of stuff unless I've got some idea of what the truth is and that it's coming, and just to help you. I don't want any of your money. I mean, I need help raising the money for the medicine, yes. But I don't want you to take money out of your bank and send it to me. Take the money out of your bank and you keep it. I think it was Glenn with Leading Edge had a saying that's pretty applicable. If your money is not like Glenn Gregg, I'm sorry, I say Glenn, I meant Greg. If your money's not where you can touch it, then it's not your money. I mean, it may be somewhere in a bank with your name on it, but that is not your money if somebody can stand between you and that money and keep you from actually getting your own money. What is coming is the beginning of the beginning of the end. You have to be ready for it because we've got to take this new paradigm that's coming and we've got to turn it on its ear, which I assure you will be formidable. A formidable task. We're going to have to take this paradigm and we're going to have to try to straighten it back out. Me and you, us, all of us. And we can't do it. We won't be able to do it unless we start now preparing, planning, and being in a position, a better position when things start going primal. So, folks, please, if you can, with the 6 minutes we've got left, 6 minutes, nobody has done anything. 6 minutes. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. If I fail, it's over. I don't know. Something that could be good comes something awfully bad. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Please. Please. Don't make me beg. Don't make me beg for the chance to get better. Start, everybody just start getting your stuff set up. Start tending to your business. Because it's coming like a freight train. And it's going to hit every home in America. It's going to get hit. And when it comes, there are going to be a lot of people standing up and saying, well, boy, I'm ready to do something. You know, got this from Alden. We can end early if need be. I can put on one of your tracks. There's only about 3 minutes left until the buffer music comes through. No, Alden, I'll sit here and suck it up. I won't do that. I just won't do that. But folks, please, if you're out there, this is the time. And I don't have much else to say. This, if this program means anything to you, if you think in any way that I sent another 50. Please help everyone with whatever you can. This is from area code 301. I don't know who that is. And then this is from Greg. You know where the Bible says that we should not let your left hand know what the right hand is doing. I get the feeling that some of our listeners would rather not have glory brought upon themselves, but their giving might be done in secret so that God would reward them openly. Yeah, maybe. So, all right, Alden, 30 seconds till buffer. Folks, we got 1 hour until things change for the better or for the worse. Till the next time, go ahead, Alden. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a